Hey y'all, Brandon Rinas here. Hope you're doing absolutely amazing. Talking a little bit quieter because my wife is sleeping. Normally I do these videos in the evening before we go to bed and then post them in the morning. And today I just was too lazy to do it yesterday, and so I ended up getting up this morning and doing it, and it's pretty early in the morning. So I kind of want to go over just a few of the things. Today's been more, or today, this whole week has been more laid back, less progress, I guess you could say, and that's going to be part of it. That's going to be part of the grind of trying to become successful. So I'm not getting too saddened by that overall, but I wanted to go over some of the different things I've been doing and then just kind of go over struggles and what I've done to try to counter them. The main thing I've been really focusing on this time has been mentorship. I really want to find some people who were successful that I could talk to, and I think that's going to be different for different people. I've had the pleasure slash luck slash skill, I think there's a little bit of everything in that, of knowing some pretty successful people. But I believe, and I think the more you study wealthy people, the more you will realize that they try to surround themselves with successful people themselves, and they're not looking for the Joe, you. They're looking for successful people. And so what I did is I came up to the two of them that I kind of had off the top of my head, and I asked them if they had time to be a mentor for me, if they would be willing to take me up on that offer. And they told me no. One of them said he would be available, or he would like to do it, but he does not have time. And so this was a little bit sad for me or disappointing, but it's also reality. I mean, you imagine being worth a lot more money than, some average Joe, and them coming up to you and asking to be a mentor, and you go, well, I work 60 to 80 hours a week. I mean, almost every successful person I know is super busy, whether it's traveling, having fun, or working, they're always booked. And I want to put some average Joe on my list of things to do that has no credibility, who has no record. I can't blame them. So that was a little bit frustrating for me though, and so I replaced that time with more studying, more research. And as this week has gone, I have also noticed that I have kind of worn myself out a little bit. So my wife and I, we've never been big spenders or big wasters, I guess. I mean, we have been when you look at how much waste we were wasting out of our paycheck. But I guess we've never driven the brand new cars. We were not going out to eat all the time. It's not like, we weren't spending tons of money paintballing every week like I would like to. But we have completely cut all of that out of our lives. And so now, after doing this for I think it's roughly 6 weeks, but been doing the videos for 3. One of the issues I've ran into is I'm starting to get mentally worn out. You start losing that motivation once you stop seeing the changes quickly, blah, 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 blah. You start getting worn out. It's just like, well, it's kind of like a diet or anything else. I tried it. It was a good time, but it's time to move on. Well, here's a few different things I thought I would go off of. First of all, let's start with Tai Lopez. Tai Lopez points out that according to the scientists, it takes about 67 days before a habit is formed. And so I'm not quite there at that habit yet, but I'm getting closer and closer. And I also, I can feel it in myself. I can see it in myself. It becomes more of a natural thing to wake up 5 in the morning and study for a couple of hours. It becomes less wearing, less exhausting. But also, I think you have to rejoice with some of your victories. So one of the things that my wife and I were going to try to start implementing in our lives is we both love UFC fights. We love going to them and watching them. And now we're not going to go to the live events as in go to the actual place or the location, but we will be going and watching them on a TV at a Buffalo Wild Wings or something like that. And it costs us $30-$40 if you include the tip, all the time we spend there. We don't go and buy every meal on the menu. We don't drink any alcohol or anything like that. We still are trying to find a way that we can mentally relax. It's not just constant crunch time, and we can actually enjoy ourselves a little bit. We have paid off 2 of our major credit cards, and we only have 1 to go. We have gotten rid of most of our major debt issues that were killing us. And so now it's time to rejoice a little bit. Now, I'm not saying go and splurge, because the goal is not to just have a little bit of financial success and go, oh, well, hey, we got out of our major debt, now it's time to go back into it. No. The goal is to have tremendous success, big league, as Donald Trump would say. So we want to have a tremendous amount of success, and we're going to get there. But I'm not going to just exhaust myself, financially drain myself, mentally drain our relationship. Just because we're going to have success, you're going to break. You're going to crash. And so what I've done is, that's what we decided we're going to do, is we're going to spend, every Saturday or every other Saturday, depending on when the fights are and stuff like that. That's going to be our relaxed day. That we can go out and have a little bit of fun, spend a little bit of money, and the rest of the stuff that we're going to do to relax or have fun is going to be involving free things, going hiking, something like that, where it doesn't involve spending money. I mean, obviously you have to pay for the gas to get there, but other than that, you're not spending a bunch of money. So we can still stay focused on the goal, still focused on not spending very much money, but then go on and have some fun with this UFC thing that we're doing. Also, my wife and I, the way we have decided to do it is to find a way to make extra money. So for me, I'm able to work extra hours whenever I want. And so now, granted, I don't get paid overtime for it, but I still can work in, let's say I want to work 3 extra hours to make that money. Cool, I can do that. So I will either add that into how many more hours I'm going to work that week, so that way we're not cutting into our funds or anything else. Or another thing we have been doing is trying to sell our extra crap on Craigslist. I'm looking around our house right now, and I've got a couple $100 in paintball stuff. We've got a backpack set up for all the like you could go hiking somewhere, and then you could pull out your little cup of tea and your different platters, and you can have a lunch. And so we got a little backpack set up that has everything all strapped in just like that. I have an older computer. When I say older, it's actually pretty new. I just never use it. Computer set out on the floor. So we're going to sell the mouse, the keyboard, the ear set, the monitor. We have actually 2 artificial legs that we're going to be selling online. So these are just different things that we have, and so we're going to be trying to use that as our motivation. Not only selling that so we can pay off more debt, bad debt, but also using that to help pay for our fun and enjoying life. So that way we don't have to feel guilty about, oh, we shouldn't be spending this money. And I think you have to balance that with fun. I feel like one of the things I've done this week, like I said, is wear myself out a little bit. And so I think we all have to recognize we don't want to wear ourselves out. But at the same time, we do not want to get into this lackadaisy, oh, hey, it doesn't matter. I paid off a little bit of debt. I had a little success. Now it's time to start spending more money. Now it's time to start creating bad habits again. No. We have to find that line. And for me, I'm nervous about this. I'm nervous about starting to go too far and having a little too much fun, or starting to get too lackadaisy and starting to break the background or the restrictions I have set on myself to have this success. So one of the things that I have done, again, this comes from, I'm trying to remember who this was. I can't remember off the top of my head, and I apologize. But what I have done to help counter the fact that I'm worried about starting to branch out and spend too much money or start becoming foolish is I have decided to get an accountability partner. A mentor, well, not a mentor, but an accountability partner. So here's where I didn't have a mentor, right? So who do you go for your accountability partner? And that, to me, that's going to be up to you. I don't want somebody that's going to be nice to me if I need someone to get in my face. And so what I did is I picked a friend that is a really good friend of mine. We watch UFC together. He's a professional fighter. He was a professional fighter for 20 plus years. We've worked in network marketing together. He understands what it's like to be out of the box, to be doing something that other people don't believe in, and to be going against the grain. And although he is not at the success level I would like him to be at, I know him good enough. I believe that as we progress and as we get closer as friends, he will be able to hold me to the accountability level that I want to be held at. And so we're going to have this conversation, and we're going to figure out what's the punishment? What is the price I pay for not fulfilling the things I want to fulfill every week or every 2 weeks or things of this kind. And he's got his own ideas on how we're going to deal with this. And we haven't been able to get together and actually work it out, hash out the final tags of this. But we have to pursue this passionately. So for me, I came up to him, I had the ideas, and then we tried to get together. It didn't work out that day. He had a bunch of ideas. We tried to get together. Hasn't worked out. So I could use that and just say, well, it's not going to work out. But the answer is no. Do I want to be successful? What is your why? Go to your why. What is that reason on your wall that says, why is it that you want to be successful? Do you want to go help a bunch of poor people in Africa? Do you want to be some politician? Do you want to be someone your wife looks up to, your husband looks up to? Whatever it is, I don't know. For me, it's a bunch of selfish, worthless reasons of getting a massage and traveling the world. But if that's your reason, so be it. Let that be it. But you have to go back to, okay, the reason I want to be held accountable is because I don't want to back off this track I'm headed on. I want to keep pursuing it. I want to make this a habit. Then I want to make it a lifestyle. And once it's a lifestyle and a habit, I don't want that to be good enough. I want to keep pushing myself. I was listening to one of the things at Robert Kiyosaki's training yesterday. And he was talking about how his first goal was to be a millionaire. Then after he made $1 million, it's like, okay, well, let's be 10 million. After he made 10 million, it's okay, let's go to be 100 million. He's like, now he's on to trying to be a billionaire. He's always pushing himself. Otherwise, it gets boring. Otherwise, we get into that trend. Now, maybe for you, you hit $1 million and you're happy, and that's fine. But for him, that's his passion, right? That's what he wants to do. Let's get to your goal before we start hitting autopilot. Yes, it's time to have fun. Yes, there's times to reward yourself. Maybe, like as I look in hindsight, maybe I would have tried to reward ourselves a little more with every single thing that we conquered. So when we got rid of our car debt, maybe I would have gone, man, let's go and have a dinner. Let's go out to eat for a dinner. Or we should have gone and after paying off each credit card one at a time, we could have said, okay, let's go out, let's enjoy, let's go have a dinner. Or just something that involves enjoying the moment, because I feel like we got so focused on conquering our goals that we kind of lost a little bit of momentum from the enjoyment side of things, and it gets taken over into the stress or the worn out, man, this is getting hard, it's becoming a job. And it's going to be at times. That's absolutely the case. The people who have success, I mean, the reason millionaires and billionaires are that wealthy is not because everything was all roses. Everybody would be there if that was the case. It's obviously not always easy. But are you going to resort to, well, I'm going to go back to living life the way it was, and that's life for me. And if that's the case, cool. Are you living life to the fullest? That's all I have to ask you. Are you living your dream? What is your why? Why are you pursuing what you're pursuing? That's really all I've got, guys. I just kind of want to go over a few of my mistakes and my struggles and what I've done to counter them, and we'll go from there. I'll talk to you guys next week. Have a wonderful time. Please, actually, let me do this before I end. If you have comments, struggles, I actually am getting views on this. Not very many, but I'm getting views. And the point of this is not to become some super successful channel on this topic. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon because I would have to be successful to have credibility, which obviously I do not right now. But if you have questions on things that you're going through yourself that you want answered, I might not have the answer. I won't pretend to. But if it's something that I might be going through, maybe it's something I missed to say, just leave it in the comments. If you like the struggles and you like the videos, please leave a comment. If you want to point out things that I should be doing better, leave a comment. This is a goal to build all of us up, to help us all get there, to help give us all motivation. It's not here to toot my own horn. I mean, I have no horn to toot. Hopefully down the road I do. But it's to help other people see the struggle and to see the success in the long run. That's all I've got, guys. Have a wonderful day. Peace out.